Good afternoon. I'm John Little and I'm a candidate for the Scottsdale City Council. Today I'm out here at the Scottsdale Airport and I'd like to tell you a story. A story about two things that were nearly lost and one thing that was found. One of the things that was nearly lost was priceless. It was a piece of our history. One of the other things that was nearly lost was about $250,000 in unnecessary business expense. So let me take you back to September 2018. The Scottsdale Airport Commission was hell-bent on changing the name of Butherus Drive. What they really wanted to do is name it something generic like Airport Way. Well, when the businesses around here found out about it, they were alarmed. They hadn't been notified, and they had no idea what the impact of that name change might be on their business. Fortunately, one of my neighbors is a vice president for a large insurance company that's just down the road here. They have 250 employees, and they're part of a Fortune 500 group of businesses. They were very, very concerned about the potential cost to a name change that might impact all their legal documents and their business. And so she asked me, knowing that I was the former city manager of Scottsdale, if I could help, because she knew that I knew the politics and the processes of the city. And I offered to help. So why would I care about the name change from Airport Way to Airport Way from Butherus Drive? It's not something on the surface of it that seems like a big deal, but actually it is a very important part of our history. Back in 1967, Elder Daniel Butherus, who was part of the Seventh-day Adventist congregation, just south of the place where I'm standing right now, agreed with his board to give 200 acres of the church-owned land to the city of Scottsdale for the construction of an airport. That's the airport we have here today. It's the air park that we have here today that is home to about 50,000 jobs, 2,900 businesses. It's essential, the biggest employment center in Scottsdale and critical to our economy. Now, does it really matter if the entryway to this area is Airport Way or Butherus? Probably not, in some sense. But every time we take something like Butherus and the contribution that he made to this community and we wipe it away, we put the name Butherus in the dustbin of history. And that just didn't seem right to me. We need to preserve our history, and we need to do things that help us remember why we're even here today. Without Elder Daniel Butherus, Scottsdale Air Park might not be here today. So after I agreed to help, I decided to dig deeper into what actually happened out here, what transpired with this name change that was so frightening to the businesses out here. Well, and I found out that, there is a process, and I knew this from being the director of transportation, that there's a process for changing the names of a street. And that process was not followed in this case. And the businesses on this street, I went door to door. There's at least 15 major buildings here that house 20 different businesses, 30 different businesses, and I spoke to each one of them, and almost all of them said that they weren't in favor of the change, which was reason enough for me to decide that this was an important thing to stop. And so working with community leaders and working with other elected officials who I invited to come and help, working with historians, working with artists, we all got together and we said, this just can't be. We need to save Butherus, which we did. And in the process, we saved these businesses about $250,000 in unnecessary costs to make that change. Now, the reason they asked me to help is because they knew that I could. I know the city. I know the processes. I know how to do it right. I know that there is a right way to do it, and I know how to involve businesses in decisions that impact them. It was a very proud moment when the city decided to back off their proposal to rename this something generic like Airport Way and keep the name Butherus for us and for subsequent generations. Please vote for me. If you want someone that knows how to get things done, vote John Little for Scottsdale City Council. You know, as sort of an epilogue to my story, I just wanted to point out, if you recall, I said we found something. And what we found was the power that we have together when we work together, when we speak with one voice. Business, historians, people that love Scottsdale, we can change what we need to when we work together. Thank you, and good night.